So then a month after chemo, I had a surgery. I had a mastectomy and 4 lymph nodes removed. It showed that the cancer was gone in the breast after chemo, and that there was a little tiny bit in the lymph node, the first one, and the other 3 didn't have any. So they were very encouraged by those results. Shortly after that, I started hormone therapy, and that would have put us in about August 2022, which is when I had an MRI that showed the spot on my liver that had disappeared was now back in the same spot. That was very concerning. So that was devastating for me because everyone I talked to who had been through this journey finished all the treatment and then went back to normal life. And that was not how my story was going. I'm Elizabeth Bone.
And I am Duncan Bone.
We are from Michigan.
We have 4 boys. And they are 8 years old, 5 years old, 3, and 1.5.
So February 2020, I just turned 30 years old. I found a lump in my right breast. I was breastfeeding at the time, so I had lots of other issues like, mastitis and things. And so I knew what that felt like. But this was different. It was a lump that wasn't going away. It didn't hurt, but the fact that it wasn't going away concerned me. I had heard of other people my age having breast cancer, and so it was on my radar. So I went to my doctor. She confirmed there was something there, so she sent me that day to get an ultrasound. At the ultrasound, they couldn't see anything. They said it was like looking through a snowstorm because of all the milk since I was breastfeeding. So they sent me home. I was relieved. As the year went on, I ended up getting pregnant with our 4th son, and the lump was still there. And as that pregnancy continued, the lump grew and was becoming more tender, but that can happen during pregnancy. So we tried to just tell ourselves, they said it was nothing. It's nothing. It's just pregnancy stuff. So I had my son in August 2021. Because I couldn't nurse, they were sending me to the lactation consultants again. They kind of said, we've never seen this before. We'll send you to a lactation specialist at a different hospital. So I went, and she sent me to a mammogram and an ultrasound. And that is when they told me this looks like breast cancer. And it was a 15 centimeter tumor by that point. So during that time, Duncan started researching tons of different alternative treatments, trying to just be prepared, just in case. I tried to remain just really hopeful and hope for the best and try not to go there in my head. But, middle of the night, when you're just laying there thinking about it, it was definitely something I was praying about, and I was scared. So I just tried to focus on my kids and not think about it a whole lot. They showed us all this is what we can do. These are medications. We'll just keep trying something until it doesn't work, and then you try the next thing. And we knew that there has to be something more. We're not just going to do this. We're not going to sit around and just wait. So all of Duncan's research, we started looking more into.
So when I was diving into all the different kind of alternative treatment things that are out there, I was really looking for the different types of treatments first, not necessarily looking for specific centers. And there's kind of a handful of ones that kept popping up at most of the different centers that were either stateside or some were international. And then kind of had a short list, and Hope4Cancer was on the short list with a couple others. And we weren't really making it broadly known of what we were looking into, but we did we've had a blog that we've posted and said, we're looking into some alternative treatment things, some stateside, some in Mexico. And after we kind of said something about just like, a place in Mexico, there were several people, one after the other, who were just like, hey, have you heard of Hope4Cancer? Have you heard of Hope4Cancer? Somebody that we had gone to church with sent us a message, say, hey, I have friends that went to Mexico. I don't know if it's the same place, but you want to meet up with them? They live in your town. And come to find out they went to Hope4Cancer. And So we went over, had lunch with them, and they were super helpful, kind of explaining to us, and so having a real person to sit across from that's been there and showed us some of the different things that they took home to do. And at that point, we'd already kind of had decided on Hope4Cancer as the place to do it because it had the most things under one roof.
I knew there had to be something else that we could do, even if it was an integrative approach. We had changed my diet, we were doing all these things, and I was feeling better from that, which just showed like there are things you can do to just help improve your body and build up your immune system and make it better. And just as we were looking at the website and he was showing me some of the treatments, they just sounded really promising. I started looking at videos on Hope4Cancer's social media and website, and the testimonies were just real people and sharing real results, and I wanted that. I wanted hope. I mean, I have 4 kids. I want a reason to a way to just keep going with them and live a long life. So yeah, it's been so good. The people, I think, were our first kind of impression, and right away people came up to us and were welcoming us, and these are the other patients, and were asking about us and where we're from. And right away I was thinking, it is not like this in my waiting room back home. It always feels very depressing and scary, and we have masks on, no one talks. And so right away I knew it was different here. People were asking about our stories and telling us their stories, and lots of very hopeful stories, and just you can see how God has just provided and made a way for everyone to be here, and we just felt like we were in the right place at the right time. And the nurses and doctors have been wonderful too, answering all our questions, and I was nervous at first. A strange place, and my doctor gives me a hug every time she comes in the room, and just makes you feel so loved and like you're supposed to be here. So
everything is taken care of, and then we get here and there are people taking care of everything for her. I mean, meals are set in front of you, and they do the dishes, and they do your laundry and fold your clothes, and so I'm just like, all right, what do I do? And so I slept. So yeah, it was an awesome feeling once you got past that initial just exhaustion of felt like, I don't know if it's the right example, but crossing the finish line where you all this effort to get to that place, and then it's just like, all right, now I can kind of recover. And then it's been awesome because they take great care of her, and have a lot of awesome things going on, and it's just a good place to be.
I think the difference between back home and here is, here they're really looking at the whole person. We're talking about nutrition, we're talking about your mind and your emotional health, and how that plays a factor in how you feel in your cancer, and maybe what has caused it. And then also the physical. So it's just you're a whole person. There's so much more to you than just treating your symptoms and your disease.
We've had a phenomenal medical staff back home. We had absolutely wonderful experience with them, but the kind of the standard protocol, it, for lack of a better term, felt like whack-a-mole. It was like something would pop up, they'd try to take care of it, see if that worked. Oh, there's another one. It was like it was very reactive to the things that were happening, where the treatment here felt way more just holistic. You were taking care of immune system, making sure that oxygen level, nutrition levels, your mental, emotional, spiritual state, your all these different things to make sure that the body is fully functioning. Because it's not just about trying to whack-a-mole. It's let's get the body working so that this stuff doesn't come back in general, or it's a very difficult environment for the cancer to continue to exist. So,
right.
Yeah.
I think I would tell someone who's going through something similar, especially if they're considering alternative medicine or integrative medicine, that you're going to encounter a lot of opinions. You're going to encounter people who don't understand or who are maybe mean about it. And for me, at the end of the day, I had to realize this is my life. If those people get cancer, they can decide what treatment to do, but this is my life. It's up to us to make a decision for our family and for me of what to do. And so for us, that meant we prayed a lot about it, and we asked, God, what should we do? And then we did our research, and we had to just not listen to a lot of people and lay down a lot of opinions that weren't for us. And so you'll have to do that too. You're going to have to just lay down those opinions and pray about what to do and let God lead you to the right place to go. And that might be completely different than what anyone else has done in your life or what anyone thinks you should do. And that's okay, because it's your life and you have to decide what's best for you.